So this session will take up the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is a unit membrane which is usually called as selective membrane, right? It is called as selective membrane. Why do we call it as selective membrane? That is because the plasma membrane in a cell will select the molecules which have to move inside the cell and which have to move outside the cell. So on the basis of the requirement of the cell, on the basis of the requirement of the cell. For example, we have sodium, we have potassium, we have glucose present outside the cell. So now let us imagine all three have the capacity to enter the cell, but right now cell requires only the potassium. In that case, the plasma membrane will allow the entry of only the potassium, sodium and the glucose are not allowed. So we call it as selectively permeable membrane. Okay, so we call it as selectively permeable. So it gives the permission only to selective molecules which are required by the cell or which have to be thrown out of the cell. Hence, we call it as selectively permeable membrane. However, at times, the plasma membrane is also called as differentially permeable membrane. We also call the plasma membrane as differentially permeable membrane. Now, why do we call it as differentially permeable membrane? See, we again have these three molecules. For an instance, we will just think all three are required by the cell. Okay, ಇವಾಗ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಇದೆ, ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಷಿಯಂ ಇದೆ, ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಮೂರು ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಸೆಲ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ, ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಷಿಯಂ, ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಒಳಗೆ ತಗೊಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆಗೆ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ 80 ಇದೆ, ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ 10 ಇದೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ 10 ಇದೆ, ಹೊರಗಡೆಗೆ ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಷಿಯಂ 60 ಇದೆ, ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಷಿಯಂ 12 ಇದೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? 12 ಇದೆ, ಅಥವಾ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ 20 ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿ 20 ಇದೆ. ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸು ಹೊರಗಡೆಗೆ 30 ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹೊರಗಡೆಗೆ 30 ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ. 2 ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ಮೂರು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಮೂರು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬೇಕಾದಾಗ the same plasma membrane sends 35 molecules of sodium inside to maintain the equilibrium or the homeostasis. Okay, similarly, now the same plasma membrane, okay, the same plasma membrane will send 20 molecules inside, 20 molecules of potassium inside to maintain the equilibrium. Again, the same plasma membrane will send 14 molecules of glucose inside the plasma membrane or into the cell to maintain the equilibrium of the glucose. It means that the same plasma membrane was permeable to the sodium of 35 molecules. The same plasma membrane was permeable to 20 molecules of potassium and 14 molecules of glucose. It is permeable to all, but it is differently permeable to sodium, it is differently permeable to potassium, it is differently permeable to ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್. ಒಂದು 35 ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ತಗೊಳಕತ್ತೀನಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಒಂದು 35 ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದನ್ನ ತಗೊಳತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದನ್ನ ತಗೊಳತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದು ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ though at times multiple molecules are required inside the cell, ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋಂಗಿರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡೆರಡ್ ಮೂರ್ ತರ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಳಗ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೊರಗ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಮಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ಪರ್ಮಿಯೇಬಲ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೌ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್. Structure of the plasma membrane anta bandaga, there were different models which were explained to or which were mentioned to explain the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane na explain madake bere models na actually ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ scientists ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರು. ಆದ್ರೆ apart from all the list of the models, we have selected only one model which is widely called as Singer and Nicholson model anta helತೀವಿ. But which are those other models also? Okay, which are the other models? So one of the most earliest model anta bandre, we call it as Overton model. Overton and Lemure model anta one model ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಓವರ್ಟನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಲೆಮ್ಯೂರ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವ್ರಿಬ್ರದ್ದು ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಗಾರ್ಟರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೆಂಡಲ್, somewhere in the year 1920 ಗಾರ್ಟರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ರೆಂಡಲ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವ್ರ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ Davison and Donnelly model. Davison and Donnelly model ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 1940s ಇಂದ 60s ತನಕ ಈ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಈ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಯಾಂಡ್ವಿಚ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಡ್ವಿಚ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಸ್ಯಾಂಡ್ವಿಚ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಬೈಲಿಪಿಡ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಲಿಪಿಡ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಬೈಲಿಪಿಡ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಇದು. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ದಿಸ್ ವೇ. So this bilipid membrane is surrounded by single layer of protein on one side, single layer of protein on another side. Okay, so this is single layer of protein, single layer of protein, and this is the lipid bilayer. So a lipid bilayer is sandwiched between the single layer of the proteins. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ಯಾಂಡ್ವಿಚ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, so this sandwich model is also given one more name. It is called as trilaminar model. It is called as laminar model anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, so trilaminar model, that is 1, 2 and 3. So these 3 layered model anta ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ trilaminar model ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. And there is one more model which is being given here, and that is Robertson model. Robertson model. Robertson model, which is also called as unit membrane model. Which is also called as unit membrane model. So after the Robertson model, then comes Singer and Nicholson model in the year 1972, which is called as fluid mosaic model, which is called as fluid mosaic model. However, the most widely accepted model is the fluid mosaic model. So we will be studying the fluid mosaic model in detail. Okay, just note it down and then we'll move to the fluid mosaic model. So we are starting with the fluid mosaic model, which is given by Singer and Nicholson in the year 1972. So according to the fluid mosaic model, the plasma membrane is a bilipid layer, okay, which has certain proteins and carbohydrates inserted in them. However, all the plasma membranes of different organisms and different cells will be having the lipids, the proteins and the carbohydrates. So the major constituents of the plasma membrane are the lipids, proteins and carbohydrates. But it depends on the type of the cell, what type of cell it is. It depends on that how much amount of lipids should be present, carbohydrates should be present and proteins should be present. So we have one standard example of human RBC membrane. Human RBC membrane. So here proteins are 52%, lipids are 40%, and the carbohydrates are 8%. So this is one standard example which we have studied already, right, in our +2. So now this doesn't remain constant in other type of the cell in the humans. So we are speaking about the human RBC membrane specifically. When it comes to the liver cells or when it comes to epithelial cells, we all have the plasma membrane on those cells also, but this is not constant in those cells. For example, liver cells. Liver cells have more amount of lipids as compared to the proteins. So depend on the functioning of the cell, this composition will keep on changing in the particular type of a cell. Okay. Now, whatever it is, that one thing is sure that these three have to be present. Most of the times carbohydrates will be less in number as compared to the lipids and the proteins. Now proteins ಗೆ ಮತ್ತು lipids ಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬೋಹೈಡ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಸತಿ ಕಾರ್ಬೋಹೈಡ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ 1% ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇವಾಗ ಲಿವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲಿವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಬೋಹೈಡ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಿಪಿಡ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಕಾರ್ಬೋಹೈಡ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ 1% or 1.5% in the humans. Liver cells of the mouse ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ not even 1% of carbohydrates are present in the liver of the liver cells of the mouse. So ಈ ತರ composition change ಆಗುತ್ತೆ but carbohydrates ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so this is the composition of any plasma membrane. Okay, then now coming to the structural inclusions. So structural inclusions ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ we will first take up the lipid. So lipid ನೋಡಿದ್ವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the first one is lipid. So lipids ಅಲ್ಲಿ we have three components or three types of lipids are present in the plasma membrane. The first type of the lipid is phospholipid. The first type is phospholipid. Second one is glycolipids. And the third one is sterols. So coming to the phospholipids, firstly. So phospholipid, it basically has a head structure and a tail structure like this. A head and a tail structure. Now what is present in the head and what is present in the tail? The head is called as a polar head and the tail is called as an non-polar tail. Polar head and a non-polar tail. Now what is present here in the polar head? So usually a phosphate is present in the polar head. Phosphate, okay. Attached to this phosphate there is an alcohol. There is an alcohol and now there is one more alcohol here which is linking the head and the tail. Okay, another alcohol which is linking the head and the tail. And this alcohol either can be, it can either be glycerol, okay, it can either be glycerol or it can be sphingosine. Sphingosine. Okay, it can be either a glycerol or a sphingosine. If it is glycerol, okay, if it is glycerol, we call it as a glycerophospholipid. We call it as glycerophospholipid. If it is a sphingosine, we call it as sphingophospholipid. We call it as sphingophospholipid and the glycerophospholipid. And then here, this is fatty acid tail. This is fatty acid tail. We have both saturated and unsaturated fatty acids here. Okay. So a composition of the phospholipid is, there are 4 components in the phospholipid. The first one is alcohol, second one is the phosphate. So third one is one more alcohol, but however the first alcohol is the one which is attached to the phosphate. So when you write the composition, you can write it as an alcohol, either glycerol or sphingosine, one alcohol attached to the phosphate and then one phosphate and the fatty acid. So 4 components are present in the phospholipids. Okay. Then coming to the next one, that is the glycolipids. So glycolipid, this is the first one, phospholipid. Second one is glycolipid. So glycolipid, cerebrosides and gangliosides. So remember these 2 glycolipids, okay, cerebroside and the gangliosides. So this is the simplest glycolipid. Ganglioside is the complex glycolipid. Okay, cerebroside and the gangliosides. So now what exactly is a glycolipid? So glycolipid is, so here this is, so a sugar or a carbohydrate covalently bound to the lipid. It is covalently bound to the lipid. Okay. So a carbohydrate is, or a sugar is covalently bound to the lipid. So that structure we call it as a glycolipid. And remember, these glycolipids are usually present on outer leaflets of plasma membrane. They are present on the outer leaflets of the plasma membrane by the sugars getting exposed. So sugars ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಹೊರಗಡೆಗೆ plasma membrane ಇಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆಗೆ expose ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So since the sugars have to be exposed, okay, ಯಾಕೆ sugars expose ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂತಂದ್ರೆ, because most of the times the sugars will act as the signaling molecules. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈ ಸೆಲ್ ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದಾಗ the sugars will actually give the signals. ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ sugar will act as a like identity molecule. So ಈ sugar ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇ ಬಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೊಂಥರ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇವು. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಶುಗರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಹೊರಗಡೆಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? So here they are present on the outer leaflets of the plasma membrane by the sugars getting exposed. And remember, the cerebrosides are the simplest glycolipids and the gangliosides are the most complex glycolipids. Okay. So then we are left with the third one, that is the sterols. So I'll write it here. Sterols. So the most complex sterol is the cholesterol. Remember, cholesterol is present in the animal cells plasma membrane but is absent in the plant cells. So in the plant cells, instead of the cholesterol, there is stigmasterol. There is stigmasterol present in the plasma membranes of the plants. Majorly it is the stigmasterol. However, apart from the stigmasterol, there are other like sterols also which are present, but major component is the stigmasterol. Okay, so cholesterol present in the animal cells and absent in the plant cells, and in the plant cells, instead of the cholesterol, stigmasterol is present. Okay, so these are the three components of the plasma membrane. Let's note it down and then we'll move to the structure of the plasma membrane. So coming to the diagram of the plasma membrane. So we are drawing the fluid mosaic model. Okay. So this fluid mosaic model is also called as this fluid mosaic model is also called as quasi-fluid model. So we call it as quasi-fluid because it is not completely fluid. Quasi-fluid is a kind of semi-fluid model. Okay, so it is not completely fluid, it is a quasi-fluid or semi-fluid. However, when you see the structure of the or diagram of the plasma membrane, it looks like, okay, there is one statement which is annotating to the plasma membrane, and the statement is the protein icebergs float in the ocean of lipids. The protein icebergs float in the ocean of lipids. Okay. So we'll first take the diagram and then we'll move to the proteins so that we'll understand the structure of the proteins. Okay. So it is an bilipid layer. If this is a cell, okay, if this is a cell, this is the plasma membrane. So ಈ plasma membrane ಹೆಂಗಿರತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so let us imagine ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಪ್ಪ ಇರುತ್ತೆ plasma membrane ಅಂತ. Here are the heads Here are the heads and in between they are tails. There are tails. So illenide illi cytoplasm ide, illi we have extra cellular matrix ಇದೆ, right? So cytoplasm is also made up of water. Extracellular matrix is also made up of water only. So these heads are usually hydrophilic. So heads hydrophilic irutte andre they are water loving. So hangagi they are exposed to the surfaces which are connected to the water. Whereas idu hydrophobic. Tails are hydrophobic and non-polar. So they should not be in connection to the water. Hangagi, they are posing to the inner sides of the membrane, and these heads, since they are hydrophilic, they are exposed to the surfaces of the water. Okay, so idu hydrophilic iradrinda idu water ge expose agide. Idu hydrophobic iradrinda idu water ge expose agilla. So this is how idu continuous hinge plasma membrane. Okay, so now if you draw it, so these are hydrophilic heads. These are hydrophobic tails. In between, okay, in between the ocean of the lipids, there are certain protein icebergs floating like this. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡ್ ತರ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಇಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲಿ ಸಿಚುವೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ತರ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲಿ ಸಿಚುವೇಟೆಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಟೆಡ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬರ್ದು ನೋಡೋಣ ನಾವು, ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಇಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಕ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಇಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನಮಗೆ ಎರಡ್ ತರ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಎಂಬೆಡೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲಿಪಿಡ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಎಂಬೆಡೆಡ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಚ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ transmembrane proteins. Such proteins are called as transmembrane proteins, which is also a type of an integral protein. Okay, now after this we again have the bilipid layer. However, now we also have one more type of proteins which are called as extrinsic proteins. Extrinsic proteins hengirutte antantandre they are usually attached to the outer layers like this. Okay, they are attached to the outer layers like this, and most of the times these extrinsic proteins they are attached to the sugar molecules like this. They are attached to the sugar molecules. So these proteins are called as extrinsic proteins, and the one which are completely embedded inside are called as intrinsic proteins. We also have one more type of intrinsic protein, right? This is completely embedded. The another one type is which is partially embedded and slightly exposed like this. Okay, so these are also called as integral proteins or intrinsic proteins only, because only it is slightly exposed like this, which is only appearing, which is seen on the outer surfaces, but majorly it is embedded inside the lipid membranes only. Okay, so now this is an lipid bilayer, and these are hydrophilic heads, and these are hydrophobic tails. Hydrophilic heads andre water loving heads. Hydrophobic tails andre water fearing tails. And these are polar and these are non-polar. And these are integral proteins. Integral proteins. And sometimes we also have the carbohydrates attached either to the lipids like this, which are called as glycolipids, or they are attached to the proteins like this called as glycoproteins, forming the glycoproteins. Okay, so this forms the structure of the plasma membrane. Okay, so this plasma membrane is a fluid mosaic model, which we have drawn as a fluid mosaic model. Okay, clear? Yes, note it down. So coming to the proteins. So proteins, they are of two types. The first type is the intrinsic or integral proteins. Intrinsic or integral proteins. So these intrinsic or integral proteins, they are usually embedded in the lipid layer. They are embedded in the lipid layer, and these cannot be extracted by any of the gentle extraction process. So whereas the peripheral proteins can be usually extracted easily by the extraction processes, if you change a small, if there is a small change in the temperature or pH, in that case the peripheral proteins can be extracted. Even they are soluble in the aqueous solutions. Whereas these intrinsic proteins, they cannot be extracted. Cannot be extracted by gentle extraction. And if the integral proteins are passing both the borders, that is, if they are running all through the membrane, then we call them as the transmembrane. We call them as transmembrane proteins if they are running all through the membrane. ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗಿನ ತನಕನೂ ರನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಆ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಆಂಫಿಫೆಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಆಂಫಿಫೆಟಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೈಪೋಲಾರ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಂಫಿಫೆಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ one example for this is, most common one is glycophorin, which is present on RBC membranes. Okay, this is one example. Another example is water channels. Water channels which are called as aquaporins. Water channels which are called as the aquaporins. So these are also the examples for the intrinsic proteins. Okay. Then coming to the extrinsic proteins. Extrinsic, or we call them as peripheral proteins. Peripheral proteins. So these are either bound to the lipids. Okay, they are either bound to the external heads of the lipids, or they are just attached to the internal boundaries of the lipids. But however, they are bound by the hydrogen bonds and electrostatic or staticity. Okay, either through the electrostaticity or through the hydrogen bonds, they are being bound to the lipid molecules. Now these extrinsic proteins, they can be extracted by gentle extraction process. Gentle extraction process. Gentle extraction process andre just change in that pH athwa temperature. So extreme pH athwa temperature kotre saaku idu proteins extract agogutte, and they are soluble in aqueous solutions. Okay, they are soluble in the aqueous solutions. So peripheral proteins enagirutte, either they are being bound to the outer heads of the lipids or to the internal boundaries of the lipids, and they are being bound by the hydrogen bonds and the electrostaticity, and they can be easily extracted by the any gentle extraction process, and they are being soluble in the aqueous solutions. Okay, so these are the two types of the proteins which are present in the plasma membrane. Okay, clear? So this completes the structure of the plasma membrane. However, coming to the functions of the plasma membrane. So we'll just go through the functions in a very common way, and then we'll again take up the transport and everything in a clearly in a detailed way in the next videos. Okay. So here the first and important function is homeostasis. Homeostasis is maintained by regulation of the transport of the molecules in and out of the plasma membrane. So plasma membrane will regulate the transport of the molecules inside and outside to maintain the equilibrium or the homeostasis in the cell. This is the first one. Second one is the endocytosis and the exocytosis. Okay, endocytosis and exocytosis are completely dependent on the plasma membrane. Both the processes are dependent on the plasma membrane. And then movement of the water is one of the important tasks of the plasma membrane. Okay, the movement of the water is the most important task of the plasma membrane, which is carried out through the water channels, which are called as the aquaporins. And then cell communication and cell signaling. Cell communication and cell signaling is another important function of the plasma membrane, because the plasma membrane consists of various sugar molecules and proteins which will act as the identification molecules for the signaling as well as the communication process. Like if there are glycophorin A, glycophorin B proteins present, okay, or glycoproteins called as glycophorin A, glycophorin B ittappa antandre, so it will give us an indication that it is an RBC membrane, right? If there are NAM and NAC, it gives an indication that it is a bacterial membrane, right? So likewise, based on the type of the sugars which are present, we will identify what type of cell it is. Okay, so it is also helping in the cell signaling and the cell communication process. So however, all these mechanisms we will study in detail in the upcoming classes. Okay, so this is all about the plasma membrane. Clear?